What was the biggest thing that you learned serving in the United States Army?
Especially being in Special Forces, being able to do pretty much anything with no resources. And that's kind of how I started the distillery, with no resources. You know, we started a distillery with $100,000.
Which is very, very low.
It's almost on.
Yeah. Most distilleries are like a $10-15 million investment.
Right.
Yeah.
We just started small, and I got used to that, being out in the middle of nowhere as a Green Beret. And if you wanted to get stuff done, you had to just figure it out. That's kind of how I worked in my business plan. The other thing is, if you're going to do it the best you can. Be the best at it. Sometimes we have to keep up with demand. We've got to buy some barrels,
of course,
and we've got to blend.
Yeah.
But our bourbon and our whiskey will always have our Leatherwood DNA to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you taste it next to something else, you're going to be like, oh, that's Leatherwood.
Okay. Welcome to the XPLR.NASH Podcast. Today we're talking barbecue whiskey. We're talking about combat overseas with a military veteran. But today's episode is brought to you by the XPLR.NASH Text Club. If you're looking for exclusive discounts at participating restaurants all throughout Middle Tennessee, you can sign up for the XPLR.NASH Text Club. For only $5 a month, you're going to receive anywhere from 4 to 25 discounts that are pretty cool. Some of the discounts that we have done are buy one, get one sandwiches, buy one, get one mac and cheese, and much more. Head to XPLRNash.club to sign up now. Joining me on today's episode is Master Distiller, Army veteran, Andy, how do you say your last name?
Lang.
Andy Lang. He is the owner of Leatherwood Distillery in Clarksville, Tennessee. Andy, it is a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. This is cool.
So where did the inspiration come from to make whiskey? Because you have a absolutely incredible story. And first off, I need to say thank you for your service.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
So it was because of service you started the whiskey brand, correct?
Yeah. I started making beer and wine. Never drank beer and wine, so I was making it for my friends. I just liked the process. Then I realized I need to stop buying whiskey and figure out how to make it.
So you served in the Army for 26 years.
Yeah.
What was your journey to get to where you were to start making whiskey overseas?
I started at home. So I started out in the infantry. I did 7 years in the infantry. Then I went to selection, went to the qualification course, and I became a Green Beret. And I got to my unit about 7 months before the invasion of Iraq.
Okay, so you were in Kuwait at that time? Okay.
Yep, we deployed to Kuwait. We're sitting on the border kind of waiting for the invasion.
Mm-hmm.
And
when was the actual invasion?
23.
2003, okay, yeah.
Yeah, or 2003.
2003, yep.
2003, March, and really we were just sitting out doing some training, and one of my buddies and I were talking smack, and I said I can make booze out of anything, and he handed me an MRE and was like, make some booze out of it, and I was like, oh man. So I pulled the candy, the Skittles out of the MRE, mixed it up with some water. Then I took that shelf-stable bread, broke it up inside for the yeast, and it fermented and basically makes Skittles wine.
How long did that process take to ferment that bread?
Only about a week or two.
Okay, so you just had that product just sitting for a week or two.
Yeah,
and then that was your first like wine overseas.
Yeah.
So what was the story of how it progressed to beer and then to whiskey? Were you the supplier for your boys, or were you the supplier for everybody?
So it kind of started with that, and then when I got home, I built my own still, did some research. Just did it at home for fun, learning the process. And then one deployment, we made a small still that fit in a box, and we took it with us. And I was on a mountain team, so we had mules and horses and stuff go up in the mountains. And we one day we got some grain airdropped in, and the guys came in and were like, "We got grain, let's make some whiskey."
That's awesome.
So we had our interpreters go get some more sugar and some yeast from downtown and brought it in and made a batch.
So with that batch of whiskey, was that primarily for you and your team, or were you using the whiskey to get intelligence and get information.
So technically, it was just for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah. Word kind of got out, and we'd usually have to pay money to get people to come in and tell us where the bad guys are and stuff. And then one day, I offered this guy a bottle of some of our hooch, and after that, he just started ratting everybody out.
So the incentive was to get him drunk, and then the truth and information will just come out.
That's right.
That's fun.
The truth always comes out when you're a little bit buzzed.
Yeah. Okay, so you finished your deployment. You served for 26 years, and then when did you open Leatherwood in Tennessee?
So I retired in 2017 as a master sergeant, and about a year out, a couple buddies came to me and were like, "Hey, man, like you make some pretty good stuff. Why don't we try this for real?" And I was like, "I don't think it's that easy. I don't think anybody can get a friggin' distiller's license." And evidently, they'll give it to anybody.
Unless you're in Davidson County. So Davidson County had prohibition for over 100 years.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So you're out in Clarksville, but you didn't start in Clarksville. You started in Pleasant View.
I did, but I lived out in Dixon, Dixon County in Van Leer. I had a small property. I wanted to do like a farm distillery, but the county wasn't having it. They were still pretty
old school
on the laws and stuff. So I met the mayor of Pleasant View through a friend, and within a few months, they put it in their rules in effect that I could open up a small distillery there in Pleasant View.
So when you say small, was it like it was a small batch? How many bottles were you guys making?
So we had a real small still, it was about 110 gallons, and it would take me 4 runs of the still to fill 1 barrel.
Wow.
Now what we did, we started out with small 15-gallon barrels, then went up to 25, then went up to 53.
Okay.
But I released our first Snake Eater Bourbon right at 9 months. It was in a 15-gallon, and I couldn't keep it on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then we had our little bar inside the distillery there, where we could sell samples and do tours and cocktails. It kind of turned into a little event space. We started live music and karaoke and all that kind of stuff.
So what was the evolution from Pleasant View to where you are in Clarksville?
So we got to the point where we were playing Tetris in the back, where we're distilling everything. For me to get one thing out of the back, I'd have to take everything out.
Were you also aging in that too? Okay.
We had a rack. We had at the time we moved up to Clarksville, we had about 45 barrels.
Okay.
53-gallon barrels, the big ones. And we just ran out of room. And we saved every penny we had, and had some other friends do a little investing for us and found a bigger place up in Clarksville.
So what's right now, what's your oldest age product?
So we have some rums that are about 5.5 to 6 years old.
Okay.
Really nice aged rum.
Was that a first time use barrel, or was it a second time use barrel?
So that would be a second time. Almost all of our barrels started with bourbon.
Yep.
Because it had to be brand new.
Yep.
Then we went and put our rye whiskey in it, and then we'd stick rum in it.
Okay.
So some of the rum that we're putting out now, we filled that barrel within a year or two of opening the place.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So in case our consumers or our audience, not consumers, sorry for calling you, you're an audience member. Let's walk through the laws of what considers a bourbon. I know there's 5 United States laws. Bourbon can only be made in the United States, even though all whiskeys are bourbons. So could we do a breakdown of the whiskey and bourbon, and then the 5 laws in the United States, or 5 requirements to make a bourbon?
Yeah, so bourbon, to start out your mash bill, you have to have 51% corn. It could be any kind of corn. Then it has to be distilled less than 160 proof. And then these go in a barrel. It's got to be an American charred white oak barrel.
Yep. Which is interesting, because if you look at the supply chain for those trees, within 30 years, there's not going to be any of those trees left in America. That's that's I think the statistic I've been hearing.
Yep. I don't know what they're going to do with that.
Yeah. How are they?
Do something.
They're going to have to change the whole law again. Yeah.
You know, the law actually reads an American charred white oak vessel.
Vessel.
Doesn't even say
barrel.
So, I mean, technically, you can make an oak box. You can make a...
Which would be an interesting aging thing. Has that been done?
Probably.
Okay.
You know, when you see... I've seen some clear bourbon that would be really, for us, considered a moonshine.
Okay.
But it's got to be in that barrel not less than 1 day.
Not less than 1 day. Okay.
Right. So as long as it's in that barrel, it's got to be a charred barrel, but you could have like a really minimal char. So you could put that clear bourbon in a barrel or a vessel for 1 day, 24 hours, and it'll come out of that barrel.
And it's considered a bourbon.
And it's considered a bourbon.
Okay.
Now, the aficionados are going to pew to that.
Yeah, they're going to be, oh, that's moonshine.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, that's fine, you know.
Hey, people have some good shine, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there's a few other things within that law, because I believe it was like, it became official in like 1963, give or take, when we said, hey, or U.S. Congress said, bourbon is the official drink of the United States. Mm-hmm. So what are the other requirements within that?
I don't know. What?
I think there was one of the water, something maybe. I can't remember.
It's I think those are
the three main.
Those three are the main ones that are in the law. The rest of them are kind of like, you have to do this to make.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything with the Lincoln County process?
We do. We have a Tennessee straight whiskey.
Okay.
So to call something a Tennessee straight whiskey, it's got to be made in Tennessee. Still has to be 51% corn. You can't add sugar to the mash. And then before it goes in the barrel, it has to be filtered through, sometimes my brain quits on me. Cherry oak.
For the charcoal.
Charcoal. Has to be charcoal filtered before it goes into the barrel.
Yeah. So how many times are you filtering that? Just once?
Just once.
Okay.
Technically, it's not even filtering. It's a process where you're running, you could use huge charcoal pieces, and you're just running that whiskey over that charcoal to pick up some of the smokiness and the charred flavor of it.
And does the charcoal help with impurities?
It does.
Yeah.
It definitely does.
Have you ever done anything with like a limestone?
So all of our water in this area is limestone filtered water. That's kind of why Kentucky and Tennessee are the ultimate places for whiskey. In fact, when I lived out in Dixon, I had a cave with a spring coming out of it, and that's where that's the water I used.
Oh, that's cool.
Perfectly pure.
That sounds like a Jack Daniels type of story.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to do it out there.
Yeah. Well,
so what I did for the first 2 years, I had a trailer with 270-gallon tote, and I brought the water all the way to Pleasant View.
Okay. What was the biggest thing that you learned serving in the United States Army?
So, especially being in Special Forces, being able to do pretty much anything with no resources. And that's kind of how I started the distillery, with no resources. You know, we started a distillery with $100,000.
Which is very, very low.
It's almost on.
Yeah. Most distilleries are like a $10, $15 million investment.
Right.
Yeah.
We just started small, and I got used to that, being out in the middle of nowhere as a Green Beret. And if you wanted to get stuff done, you had to just figure it out. That's kind of how I worked in my business plan. The other thing is, if you're going to do it the best you can, be the best at it. And as I'm sure you know, business owners kind of take that to the limit a little,
too hard.
A little far. Yeah.
So do you feel your experience in the United States military allowed you to understand systems that translated into operating a business?
Oh, definitely.
Can you break down some of those systems?
The biggest one is probably logistical chains and stuff like that, especially during COVID. We had such a breakdown in the, supply chain. So I had to look forward, and if I had to buy something, I had to buy a lot of it. So I got it all, and I had enough to hold me over for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's, like everything else in business, it's really kind of who you know. You got to get out there, you got to meet people, you got to talk to people. And that's really what we did in special forces overseas. We just talked to people, all the time.
What was, if you don't mind me asking, what was the most fearful moment of you serving in the United States military?
Oh, man. Pretty much every day.
Yeah.
I mean,
can you describe that fear?
So 2 types of fear for me. One is that big event, that IED that goes off, blows up your truck, it hurts people, and it's just chaos. That's one fear. And then there's that fear of just getting up, getting in that truck, getting ready to drive out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing what's going to happen, knowing something's going to happen, and just being able to push that to the side and just keep going and do what you got to do every day.
How, what's a piece of advice to get over that fear? I know it's different than what a lot of people experience today, but it could still apply for their fears.
You got to keep your mind on the task at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you feel fear, even jumping out of planes, you know what I mean? Like that, to me, that was one of the most terrifying things I've ever done in the military. And I did a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
Every time that door opens up and you look out and you're like, man, what am I
doing this again?
Dude, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But you just got to switch your brain and you got to start walking through the whole process of what you got to do next. And then that fear goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can do that with everything you do in life,
Would you advise somebody right now to join the U.S. military?
I would. My son's in the military. He's in the infantry now. He loves it. I tried to talk him into going to the Coast Guard. But
he
wasn't having it.
The easy route, even though it's not easy.
Yeah. But no, I think there's so much you can get out. Even if you do 4 years, you just learn so much about yourself, what you can do versus what you think you can do. And then, it's a great job.
Mm-hmm.
You know that paycheck's coming in every month. Your healthcare is taken care of. And if you turn it into a career and you set yourself up, you can do a lot of good things, after 20 years.
I've been looking at the numbers recently, and underneath the former administration, our recruiting numbers were the lowest they've ever been in the United States history. But within 3 months of the new administration, the recruitment numbers are skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts regarding that topic?
I do. I think one of the biggest things is Pete Hegseth.
Yep.
He is a soldier,
mm-hmm.
right? He understands what it's like to be enlisted. What the guys on the lower chain of command go through every day. And now he's at that top level, and he's putting changes in place that, that's what people in the military want. They
mm-hmm.
want to be ready for a fight.
Yep.
That's your main job, is to go get in a fight and win.
Yep.
And if that's not all you're training for,
then why are you in it? Yeah, of course. Where do you see the military going?
Man, watching everything that's going on, I think it's going to start getting really, really technical.
Yes.
When you watch these fights overseas, everything
with the drones,
drone operated,
the robots.
Yeah, robots, all that kind of stuff. There's always going to be a place for that human on the ground, because there's some things that the human eye can pick up that technical stuff can't.
Yep.
And everything's really going to like a special ops war. You know
mm-hmm.
what I mean? Small incursions and stuff like that you need people that are super highly trained to do.
Okay, so now let's go back into the business world. What's been your greatest success operating the distillery? And we'll get into the barbecue restaurant. So we'll talk about the success of the distillery first.
For me, it's that no quit attitude. I mean, I've had so many points that I should have been like, I think I'm going to get out of this and just go be retired. Like we had a fire during COVID.
Oh, well. This is when you just moved to Clarksville at that point?
No, we were
Or still in Pleasant View. Okay.
We actually switched over to doing hand sanitizer.
Yep. Which is very flammable if people don't know.
Yeah. What's funny is there's an ingredient you put into hand sanitizer, that gel, and that gel is a fire retardant.
Yep.
I just had a rechargeable battery in my toolbox.
Yep.
Popped and exploded, started some oil on fire, and it just started smoldering, started a huge fire. And there was a barrel of, I forget what the stuff's called, but there's a barrel that right in front of the fire, and it popped, and it sent that gel all over my barrels.
Yep.
So everything else in the distillery burned down except for the barrels.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you have photos of that you can send us?
I do, yeah.
Okay, we'll love to, Victor, we'll put them in as B-roll. Wow, that's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, so how did you handle the insurance claim on that one?
Oh.
The insurance is like, well, your actual product is still good.
Well, what was even more funny, the first question they asked is, how's your income been since COVID?
Yeah.
Since all the shutdowns, insinuating that I started the fire, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, don't even. Like, we've had our best month since we've been in business.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they looked at the numbers. They're like, okay, he definitely wouldn't have started this at this point.
Okay.
Insurance was great. They really took care of everything. And like I said, the barrels were good. Like,
that's crazy.
I had barrels that had been aging for almost 4 years.
Yeah, that's so much product.
Yeah.
That could have been destroyed.
That was a decision point.
Yeah.
When I looked inside the building, I was like, if those barrels are done, I'm done.
Yeah.
They ended up being fine. So I'm like, all right, let's just rebuild. And
so on the distillery side, what's been your biggest failure?
For me, understanding all the laws and the taxes. And
there's a lot to it. Can we walk through the tax structure of making whiskey? Because you're getting taxed while the whiskey is sitting there aging, and then you're getting taxed for bottling it. So walk us through the tax structure in case people don't understand that.
Yeah, so we have to keep track of every single step of the way, every piece of ingredient we put in,
everything. Yeah, it's so detailed and oriented.
Yeah.
Yep.
So basically, when we make something, we don't get a tax while it's aging, but we're being taxed to the state as an asset, right?
Okay.
So there's no federal tax on that whiskey that's aging, but every time we fill a barrel, that brings our assets up. So
you're getting taxed from
on the state, like
from a Schedule B standpoint.
Correct.
Okay. If people have no idea what a Schedule B is, it is the worst form of tax. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It is. You buy this chair, for example, and then you pay taxes after you already paid for sales taxes. It is one of the worst forms of theft. Every year. It is, and then it's a depreciating asset. And as a small operator, you have no idea what a Schedule B is. And then all of a sudden you're like, why do I owe $2,000 to the government?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because I didn't pay my Schedule B tax. It is literally theft.
That's crazy.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize that was considered whiskey as the asset.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, that infuriates me.
Yeah. And when you have 250 barrels aging, every year, that's a massive freaking asset sitting there. That's, to me, it's not an asset.
It's yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so how? Well, that opens up a whole series of Schedule B questions. It's such a frustrating tax.
Luckily, we got a good tax person.
Well, that's good. we went through the ringer of tax people.
Yeah.
I've gone through 4 different people in the last 4 years. Yeah. So we finally found one good. Andrew Oakley, if you guys are looking for a CPA, he's a small firm off of Murfreesboro Pike. Great job, Andrew. Okay, so Schedule B. So once you put the water or you put the liquid into the barrel to age, it becomes the asset. So does it depreciate, or is it the same tax rate each year? It's
the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So then when you take, so
even on the barrel on the rum, too. Yeah. Okay. So anytime a barrel is filled with any product, it becomes wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And same thing if we've got, like, we'll have stainless steel vats of stuff
that's an asset
aged or clear stuff that we're going to mix with flavors and stuff. Those are all assets.
Yep.
Where you really get your tax is when you bottle something. So we've got a bonded area. It's in the back, so we can bottle everything, stick it in there, and it's basically that we're not going to pay taxes on it.
So what is a bonded area? That means that you're not paying taxes on that.
Yeah. So anything in there cannot come out of there until you report it.
Okay.
Right. So let's say we have a distributor wants a pallet of bourbon.
Yep.
We've got that pallet sitting back there. As soon as we bring it in outside the bonded area, we have to report it.
Okay.
And then that'll come up on the next month's tax.
Okay. So does that go to the state and the feds?
So that'll be the federal part right there. Once we ship it out and we send it to the distributor, say we send it to the distributor here in Tennessee.
How many states are you guys in?
We're in 6 states now.
Okay. Just the surrounding areas, or?
Actually, it's all over.
Oh, really?
So my partner has some NHRA drag racing cars, and we put Leatherwood on them. And so a bunch of the states the races are in, we brought on distributors.
Oh, that's great. Just to get your product. Yep.
Yep. And the drivers are really cool. They'll go out and they'll sign bottles. That stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so once that product leaves the bonded area,
yep,
and then it goes to distribution, what happens there from a tax standpoint?
So 2 different ones. If it goes out through distribution and my distributor, like our distributor is Ajax Turner here in Nashville, great distribution company. They will, part of that cost that they buy from us has the state taxes in.
Okay.
Now, if let's say we take a pallet and we bring it into the tasting room because we're going to sell it out of our tasting room. It goes to Ajax and then it comes back to us so they can keep track of the tax. So we pay taxes on that.
Okay. To the state.
Yep.
Okay.
And then every month we have documents that we fill out for the federal government of what we've sent out to distribution. That's one tax. And then what we've sold inside the distillery is another tax.
So by the time it gets to the consumer, how much tax is on a bottle?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
36%?
Oh, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it's over 50?
No.
Okay.
It's probably between 30 and 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Then you have fees like distributors going out selling it and delivering it. So there's a markup there. Then the store's got to mark it up.
Yep.
And
that's why it's $48 for some bottles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or more. Yeah.
And actually, the distillery makes the least amount of money off of all of it.
Even though you're the main.
We do it all.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
But those are more laws from Prohibition.
Yep.
And on the other hand, I don't have the trucks and I don't have the salesmen and I don't have the delivery people to go do it. So,
well,
you kind of have to.
What's the law with the distribution side? Because you have to have a distribution company,
correct,
that you're in partnership with, even if you have your own delivery drivers, right?
Yeah, it's called 3-tier system.
Okay,
right. You've got the supplier, the distributor, and the sales point.
Okay,
it has to touch all 3 of those for it to be a legal sale.
Okay. It is it's an industry that's overburdened by regulation.
I would say every distillery owner does it because they love the process, they love their brand, and they like to see people taste it and smile.
Yeah. Out of your products, which one's your favorite?
Mine would be the Snake Eater Bourbon.
Okay. That's it. So initially you said it was 9 months age for your first 15-gallon barrel. So what's the aging process now on that?
We're at 4 years right now.
Okay.
We're trying to push it up to 5-6 years. This year alone, we've quadrupled our production.
That's awesome.
We're doing a barrel a day now.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
So Snake Eater, I'm imagining it has like a really nice bite, because when I think of a snake, I think of a bite. So describe like the flavor and the taste of what you're experiencing.
So the name, and actually on the back is the description of Snake Eater.
Okay.
And that's a nickname given to Green Berets.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I call it Snake Eater.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a wheated bourbon. So it has a lot of sweetness to it, a lot of caramel. So we use yellow corn, winter wheat, and malted barley.
Okay.
And the barley and the wheat are all sweeter grains, lighter grains. It's got a really sweet finish, and just a little bit of burn. Even at 85 proof, there's not much burn. One of the things that makes us special, you've got so you got 3 parts to a distillation. You've got your heads, hearts, and your tails.
Mm-hmm.
Your heads, that's the methanol alcohol. That's what gives you a headache. That's
that can make you go blind.
Make you go blind if you drink too much. But it'll kill you if you drink too much.
Mm-hmm.
Through the FDA, there's a specific amount, and it's basically 50 milliliters per gallon of mash.
50, okay.
That you can keep in, that can come out.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have it tested or whatever. We go overboard to make sure there's 0% methanol in there. And in the past, I've told people, I was like, you can drink a whole bottle of this and you're going to get drunk, but you're going to wake up with no headache and no hangover. And unfortunately, I've had to prove myself a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you handle the balance of making whiskey and then like testing your own product?
Well, once you get the process down,
mm-hmm.
Like I know, and my distiller knows, we don't have any computers or anything like that. It's all been done by taste, smell, and the hydrometer. I know at all portions of that flow coming out of the still, when I stick my finger in there, put on my tongue, I know exactly what it's going to taste like, and it's going to be that.
Yep.
Now, for me, like I told you, I took it a little too far. I spent too much time in the bar and the tasting room, and everywhere I went, I was always that social guy that wanted to see people drinking my product, so I was drinking it with them, and it went too far, and it bit me. I'm also not one of those people who can have one drink and then walk away. Some of us can drink like a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that guy. So I stay away from it,
Yeah. The elderberry, when I was on your website, is what really caught my eye. So is that technically a whiskey? Or is that more of a...
So that's a rum.
Okay.
Technically, by law, it's called a cordial. Basically, it's our rum. It's an elderberry wine base. So it's 100% fruit flavor and some sugar. So it's nice and sweet. It's great for mixing cocktails. We do a cocktail distillery called the Bubbly Berry. It's elderberry, Sprite, and a squeeze of lime.
That sounds great.
Oh,
yeah.
Time, it's crushable.
So you also own a barbecue restaurant.
Yeah.
What's the name of the barbecue restaurant?
So it's Queued Up 615 Barbecue. It's in Pleasant View off exit 24.
What type of barbecue is the barbecue?
So it's kind of a mix between Memphis and Texas style.
So are you using more vinegar-based sauces and like a tomato-type sauce as well? Like, what's your process in smoking the meat? And
so like the brisket, it's mostly just a rub.
Okay. Which that's all it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the process of cooking it that really sets it apart. We've got a giant smoker. It's a really small place. It's pretty cool. And like I said, it used to be the distillery in Pleasant View. And then we grew out of that small building for a bigger building for the distillery. I already had the bar set up.
Yeah.
Everything was ready. So we just finished in the back, and my buddy stepped in, and he makes some really killer barbecue.
Well, sounds like we have to get out there. So what's been a great success of the barbecue restaurant?
What's been awesome? We had a really good customer base from the distillery and the bar and doing all the events and stuff. When we swapped it over to the barbecue restaurant, we kept all those clients.
That's great.
We still serve all of Leatherwood's products there. So people that got all the cocktails from the distillery, when they came in for barbecue, they got the same cocktails. And when we do a lot of live music there now too, and it's been about a year and a few months, and it's going great.
From a operations side, with you running different types of businesses, a restaurant and then a distillery, what type of advice would you give to an operator?
Make sure you've got the right people with you. My buddy Craig, that's running the barbecue restaurant and doing the barbecue, super smart. He picked up on the business side really quick. And then same thing with the distillery I have now, my partner Joe, and my distiller is a partner also, Brian. They're just great people that I can trust. Like I told you, I just got back Friday. I was gone at a place called Warrior's Heart. Recover for some PTSD and overindulging. And honestly, I wouldn't have been able to do that without those two guys being there to take care of everything.
Yeah.
There wasn't a question in my mind. And that's the key to success, is surrounding yourself with good people. Excuse me.
With that in mind, how can somebody with your service in the Green Beret, and you had a team, how can an operator build a good team? How can they find good people?
So, excuse me. I think the key is, you've got to really know those people, right? You've got to watch. You've got to see what they're doing. And I don't want to say test, like that sounds, I don't know. But when things come up, you just got to watch them and see how they handle that event or whatever happens, and you'll know. You know what I mean? But you can't just let it go and hope. Hoping is what'll bite you in the butt. You just got to know.
What's the future of the whiskey world look like?
Man, it's
because there's a lot of like products that are being made that are charged the same price without the alcohol in it.
Right.
They taste similar, but it's still I know that's a huge rising thing. So like where do you see the future of whiskey?
I think whiskey and bourbon's there's always gonna be a market for the true whiskeys and bourbon. I think there's a lot of products out there that are all made at the same place, and people are just rebottling, putting labels on it. I think the ones that are going to stick around are the ones that I call it the DNA. Like sometimes we have to keep up with demand. We've got to buy some barrels, and we've got to blend.
Yeah.
But our bourbon and our whiskey will always have our Leatherwood DNA to it. Mm-hmm. Like when you taste it next to something else, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's Leatherwood."
Okay.
I think the brands that are just rebottling and stuff like that, and it tastes like 6 or 7 other brands, I think they're gonna go away. I think the ones that are gonna stick around that just do a little something extra to make it special.
So doing business in Clarksville, what is one thing that you enjoy about doing business in Montgomery County?
The biggest thing is, every portion of the way, trying to build out the distillery, getting licensing and all that. Montgomery County has just been all on board with growth. So that makes it easy to do business in Clarksville. Having Fort Campbell right there, for us, that was the perfect spot. 5th Special Forces Group is there. We do a lot of hail and farewells, retirement parties, that kind of stuff. In the 101st, I was in the 101st before I went to Special Forces. We have units coming and doing their events there too. So that all together has just made it perfect.
If you were to tell a business to open in Clarksville or Montgomery County, where would you tell them to try to go? Man. Like as close to downtown as possible, like to Peabody, or closer to Fort Campbell, because it's
I think it kind of depends on what your client base is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
For us, we don't want it to be just military, right? We have a military theme. Our tasting rooms, the more American flags than any other building in Clarksville, probably. But we also wanted everybody else to come in and kind of experience that part of us. So we're actually off in the industrial area off of exit 4.
Mm-hmm.
We are building a new location downtown Clarksville, right next to Shelby's Trio and the arena.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
Are you going to distill there too, or is it primarily okay?
Yep, we're going to do everything there. Have the tasting room, 200-person event space.
You going to bring your barbecue up there, or is it going to be like a different type of food menu?
So my partner that owns is with me in the distillery, owns Shelby's Trio.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to be right next to them.
So have the food supply.
So we're going to use
that's great
partnership with both of them. It's going to be pretty awesome.
So 200-person event space. Yeah, downtown Clarksville is just with the arena. That was such a great investment.
Yeah.
I've been hearing that the comedy shows up there have been selling out, which is great. Like it's great for the county. Are operators upset that Tennessee lost Buc-ee's?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I am. I live right down the road.
Even though it's going literally a mile down the road into Kentucky.
Right.
But like that would have been so beneficial for the county.
It would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's just.
On the other hand, I'm kind of happy.
Yeah.
Because I can walk in there and drop $100 on absolutely nothing.
Well, you still can. It's just you have to go a mile down the road to Kentucky, and now you're just paying your sales tax to Kentucky. So it's just Buc-ee's. We've been to the grand opening for Crossville. We've been to the grand opening for Smith Groves, Kentucky, and for Sevierville, and they're just a freaking machine.
Yeah,
and it would have done really well for Clarksville. I think Buc-ee's in Murfreesboro is going to do extraordinarily well. Yeah. But everything in Murfreesboro right now is doing well. Right. All of Middle Tennessee is doing well.
Yeah.
If you were to like what are some of your hobbies outside of making whiskey?
I mean, it's hunting, fishing, riding ATVs. I'm also on the board of directors for this nonprofit, Brothers Keeper Veteran Foundation.
What is that?
So we basically spend a lot of time raising funds just to help take care of veterans in need. In fact, the nonprofit helped me to get down to Warrior's Heart. So we've got some partnerships with some clinical locations. I mean, you name it. If there's a veteran in need, maybe he's in a wheelchair and he needs a gazebo, we can help him with that. We've got clinicians on staff. In fact, we're doing a couple events this year in Nashville. We do September. We do this big gala at the City Winery. We'll bring in a bunch of veterans, guest speakers, do live auctions. It's really nice. And then we do the salute and shoot, which is fun. In fact, if you want to come out, you might enjoy it. Basically, we get a bunch of veterans together, and then we get some donors that help us to help all these veterans. And a friend down there in Cheatham County has got a really nice range, and we'll bring out some really cool guns, let everybody shoot. A little bit of instruction if they want it. But we've had like machine guns.
That's cool.
Machine guns.
Yeah.
Stuff that people
don't get to shoot. Yeah.
You know?
Of course.
Fifth Group's always supporting us. Fifth Special Forces Group, they'll bring out one of their desert mobility vehicles.
That's cool.
And guys can get in there, take pictures, and that's pretty.
Where's your favorite place to like ride ATVs in Tennessee? Because have you been out to Warren County?
I haven't.
So Warren County, it's close to like Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. It's in those like that little mountain range. They have all these like off-roading courses out there. There's one in Kingston Spring called Bell Reserve. That offers like off-roading, not ATVs, but more like off-roading experiences. Natchez Trace State Park is a really great place.
Yeah,
that offers off-roading and ATV and horseback. Like they do everything out of Natchez Trace. Yeah. So where's your favorite place to ride?
Been out to Land Between the Lakes.
Great. Yeah.
I've got about 20 acres. I got some trails. So,
So you just ride on your own property.
Yeah, just kind of ride around. And when hunting season comes in, it's deer time.
Yeah.
Have
you hunted in O'Brien County in West Tennessee? It's a great county. I'll send you the video that we just did of the county. And it is like a hunter's paradise.
Right.
The whole county. Great hunting spots. But then fishing. It's on the Reelfoot Lake. So if you wanted to go fishing out there, great fishing opportunities too.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to all that stuff.
Definitely.
What how would you describe like your perfect itinerary of experiencing Middle Tennessee or Clarksville or Nashville? Maybe we do Clarksville and Nashville.
Yeah. So, I mean, Clarksville, you've got Austin P growing huge, see a football game, basketball game. The restaurants downtown are awesome. Shelby's Trio is a really nice restaurant. Three different restaurants, basically. If you're around the right time, you can see the paddle wheel boat come into Clarksville, do the paddle wheel roll. Nashville, everybody's got to see Broadway once. And then, maybe catch a football game and then get out to Chattanooga. Chattanooga's got some really fun stuff to do. And then definitely, Gatlinburg. I got a 6-year-old, so we spent some time in Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon Forge is like the ultimate Disney World of Tennessee. Yeah. I think it's better than Disney World, but just because like there's the apple orchards, there's the new Crayola Crayon Museum thing out there.
Really?
They just opened a whole Nerf exhibit, so it's like all of the Nerf collection, and you can go play Nerf.
Nice.
There's the dig zone where you can teach your kids how to operate heavy machinery. Like
cool.
there's so many freaking cool things in Pigeon Forge. You're like, oh, that's a cool concept. I need to take my family to that.
It's like every year there's something new too, so you can go back every year.
Oh, I go to Pigeon Forge 4 times a year, 4 or 5 times a year, and we go out and film. And so, like, I'm able to participate in all these things, and I'm like, holy crap, man, there's just so many like cool things out there. Have you ever heard of zorbing? Basically, it's a human in like a hamster wheel, and you go down this hill going 30 miles an hour, and you're like rotating in this ball with water, and you're like, that's out there. And it's the only zorbing in North America.
Sounds cool.
The closest one is New Zealand. And so you can do it as a family in the Zorb. I have only done it by myself, and I was rotating. I can't imagine doing it with other people because you're just like nailing,
like dizzy and ready to pass out when you get.
Well, I didn't pass out. Like you're going down the hill, you're going like 30 miles an hour, you're just rotating. My biggest problem, if you do it, keep your mouth closed because the water just gets in. And I started choking because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm choking on the water.
Yeah.
And I'm rotating. I have no idea where I'm going. You're like, oh, this is not the experience that you wanted.
That's crazy.
I did it like 2 times after that. So just if you're going zorbing, keep your mouth closed and just don't let the water get into your mouth. But you're going to go everywhere. And I can't imagine doing it with other people because you're just going to be like slamming each other.
It's crazy.
I'll send you that video too. So with everything in mind, do you have any closing thoughts for people who have served in the military, like if they're struggling with suicidal thoughts, like go get help? Like what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So number one, for me, we've got a website. It's easy. It's bkvf.org. You get on that website and you click on the help button. Somebody will contact you really quick, within hours.
Yeah.
There's so many places to go and help yourself. And that's one of the problems with veterans. That's what we do is, we take everything, we stuff it down because we're not supposed to show emotions and all that. But at some point that cup's going to bust open. Mm-hmm. And when it does, you got to be ready and have some people to help you out.
Yeah.
So definitely get on bkvf.org and we'll get someone to help you for sure.
Any closing thoughts for operators listening to this show?
Yeah. Being a business owner is, it's pretty awesome. It's terrifying to start. It's extremely stressful. But what you get out of it is going to be what you put into it. Have the right people around you, and you can only do awesome things.
And then where can people visit Leatherwood?
So you can get on leatherwooddistillery.com. We're also on Instagram, Facebook. It's all at Leatherwood Distillery. Just Google us. We'll come up pretty quick and come see us. Come check out the distillery, and we'll give you a tour and a tasting.
Well, Andy, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
We will make sure to get a video on the distillery soon.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah.